Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from in the world today. Great to have you with us, and thank you for joining this City Health Talk webinar. My name is Jo Jewell, and I'm the Director of Cities for Better Health, which is a global public-private partnership of over 50 cities working together to prevent serious chronic diseases. Today, we're here to celebrate the winners of the Healthy Cities Challenge, which is a collaboration between Cities for Better Health, but also C40. In Cities for Better Health, we're working across the world with partners to support and accelerate actions that shape healthy environments. This could be, for example, through promoting active transport, improving the local food environment, or ensuring access to green spaces for community members to enjoy and be active together. Often, these changes that we're looking to put in practice to improve health and well-being and to promote good behaviors also benefit the planet, with healthier cities often being greener and more resilient to climate change. It is for this reason, as part of the Healthy Cities Challenge, that we have chosen to partner with C40, and thanks to them for partnering with us on this challenge, because C40 is a global network of mayors who are dedicated to addressing climate changes at the city level. So with the Healthy Cities Challenge, we're aiming to support initiatives that create healthy, green, and thriving neighbourhoods where they're most needed. Today, during this webinar, we will hear more from the 3 winners of the Healthy Cities Challenge about how they, with the support of this prize, will be working to drive change in their communities for better health and climate resilience. So it's really a great pleasure to be hosting this webinar today with Hélène Chartier from C40, and she is the Director of Urban Planning and Design. Over to you, Hélène.
Thank you very much, Jo, and thank you everyone for joining us today. The Healthy City Challenge initiative was launched to accelerate innovative, scalable solutions to improve urban health, foster climate resilience, and promote equity in cities worldwide. We know cities find themselves facing the impact of climate and health inequity. So the past urban model have promoted car dependency, urban sprawl, neighborhood segregation, and leading to the most challenging elements that cities are facing today, such as consumption of natural land, car dependency, inactive lifestyle, and also a lot of lack of amenities and services in many neighborhoods. So we need to harness a better model of urban design and planning that will improve quality of life and health and the well-being of the people. So this challenge set out to seek ready-to-implement projects that build healthy, green, and thriving neighborhoods, as Jo was mentioning. And community-led action can be immediate solution and tangible benefits for the residents, the business, but also promoting healthy lifestyle throughout life course. We are thrilled to have received 90 submissions, very qualitative submissions from 33 countries. From this submission, we selected 10 finalists that has been presenting their project to a panel expert and ultimately selecting 3 winning projects that you will hear about today.
So exactly, today's City Health Talk will be an opportunity really for us to hear from the winners themselves and to dive a little bit deeper into the incredible work that they're doing at the community level. We'll discuss why the projects were chosen, and we'll also hear directly from them in a moment about the organization's work, their initiatives, and we'll be discussing the potential for these solutions to be replicated and to be scaled potentially globally. So the structure and the format of our webinar today is that we will present each winning project one by one, and we will divide the time. So first, Hélène and I will introduce the teams and give a bit of background as to why the project was selected as a winner. Next, we will also then have a short video to explain the why, what, and the how, and the who behind the initiative. And finally, we'll engage in a live dialogue with the project representatives about their next steps. After all of the presentations have taken the floor, we'll open the floor for a Q&A session. So please do remember, those of you participating online, that you have an opportunity to submit questions using the Q&A button. So please do submit your questions live as we go through the session, because we're really hoping for an interactive chat during the webinar.
Now, without further ado, let me introduce each of the winners of the Healthy City Challenge. This project exemplifies innovative sustainability and partnership, offering impactful solutions to urban health challenge. We are thrilled to have with us 3 inspiring women that represent inspiring projects, and we'll talk about their project. Joy Mumbai from Nairobi, Kenya, who is representing the Go Down Arts Center. Nice to see you, Joy. And Agustina Besata from Buenos Aires in Argentina, representing Asociación Sustentar. And Adriana Sansao from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, representing the Faculty of Architecture, Urbanism of the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. Our first winner joining us from Nairobi, Kenya, I was mentioning Joy today, and we'll discuss the inspiring projects they have developed for the transformation of one of the major streets in the Kenyan capital. Joy, really your project was so inspiring, and it was really chosen because of the holistic approach of revitalizing public space, promoting active mobility, but also fostering community connection in a neighborhood that have several schools, but also informal settlements. So let's take a closer look to the project.
Jambo, welcome to Nairobi, the green city in the sun. I'm Joy Mboya. I work at the Go Down Arts Center, and I'm the executive director. Dunga Road and the Go Down Arts Center are approximately the heart of the city, if you look at it kind of geographically. When you come to Dunga Road now, you'll find that it is predominantly a vehicular kind of thoroughfare. There's a lot of dust, there's a lot of car fumes, there are no zebra crossings, and there's no median between the up traffic and the down traffic. So you're sort of making a dash for it when you're trying to get across the street. The Dunga Road is a major street for school children going into school in the morning. Safety becomes really important when you're thinking about that. So it's a little bit of a mess. There needs to be some really rethinking and reorganizing the usage of that space for all of these different users. Our project is really a tactical urbanism project to test and pilot a street design that has been conceived by women, that has been drawn up with them and professionals, that has been validated by the community, but now needs to be proven. We started by bringing together community to imagine and vision a redesign of the street. So the next place is to sort of begin to test that and to say, well, let's create the median strip and introduce a wider pedestrian way. Let's move the cars back onto the road so that they're not parking on the cycling lane. Let's create some furniture here. Let's have an area where people can sit and hang out. If we green the street, if we make sure that it is well planted, we begin to reduce heat and dust and pollution. Hopefully that means that those who are actually vending and doing business on the street have a healthier environment. So they're actually sitting in a space that is not damaging their health as they come to work. Importantly, if you create a space that is attractive, that works, then people will spend time to socialize. So you begin to create this idea of urban community, of vibrant spaces where people are feeling safe, where people are feeling in community, and where people are enjoying the environment that they're in. Partnering with the city government is really essential, and we're really happy that we have actually entered into an agreement with them on this particular project.
Yeah, the collaboration has been important and is bringing more opportunities. In fact, the partnership with the Go Down, everybody is asking, how did you achieve it? We are open to everybody who is ready to collaborate with us.
I think that once this is implemented, this will be the go-to place as an example of a public space that is green, a public space that prioritizes our health, that improves or promotes socializing and coming together as a community. We hope that this heart is going to be the point at which these ideas, these principles, these ways of working are then pushed out across the city to other projects.
What an example of a fantastic urban regeneration project through collaborative design and community empowerment. Joy, thank you very much for joining us again. You mentioned in the video the fact that woman was a very important part of the community engagement. Why it was so important for you to work with women, to empower them and to give their perspective in the design of the project?
No, thank you so much, Hélène. So we have had a long-standing relationship with UN Habitat, who are based here in Nairobi. And in 2021, they introduced us to a toolkit. It's called the Her City Toolkit. That is an innovative approach that ensures that public spaces are designed to meet the needs of the whole community by working through the lens of women. And so the philosophy is that women, who often see for everyone, bring perspectives that account for children, for the elderly, for persons with disability, and of course for themselves. And so we invited a diverse group of women stakeholders to join this idea of exploring the design of the street. These women came from the neighboring settlements. Some of them were vendors who actually operate micro businesses on the street on Dunga Road. And some of them were young women who were studying or beginning early careers in the built environment. So this is the group that we pulled together to lead the assessment of Dunga Road. And they were focusing on elements such as safety and comfort and accessibility and greening, concerned about dust and pollution, and of course, street amenities. And what we found, of course, with their own visualization and conception is that they began to look at things in a very interesting way. And some of the things that they identified as design recommendations was the notion that the street is a space to linger and to connect. So how do we create safe, comfortable seating areas? How do we create wide, colorful walkways where people can stop and interact comfortably? And then, of course, because a number of them were street vendors, they also wanted to know how we could seamlessly integrate these micro businesses into the road design and to continue to support their businesses and not remove them from the design process altogether. One of the things that, of course, is a problem on that street is that there's no separation of the modes of mobility. So again, the women proposed a clear separation of pedestrians, of bicycles, of motorcycles, and of cars to enhance safety and flow and to bring in the idea of zebra crossings, because as you saw in the video, that is really a challenge. And importantly, we noted that some of these women who work on the street come to the street with their children, but also that this is a major thoroughfare for children who are going to the local school. So again, they proposed ideas around creating a walk for these young people that is safe, but is also a play area for them in some sense, but also a play area for those women who come to work with children. And then, of course, greening, bringing in trees, bringing in flowers that can attract birds and create a vibrant, sustainable environment. So these are some of the ideas that the women brought. And we think that when this is implemented, we'll have a very, very different experience of Dunga Road.
Thank you, Joy. How do you think this project can inspire other projects in Nairobi, in Kenya, and even worldwide?
I think one of the exciting things for us about this project is that it basically builds on the broader vision that Nairobi has for itself. Around 2013, the city actually embarked on sort of launching a new plan, a new vision for the city. And of course, this is a vision for the city that is hoping to make the city healthier, more sustainable, more efficient. And so our project basically plugs into this bigger vision where we're thinking about spaces that people can come together and exchange ideas and share ideas, people who are concerned about the city, who might be urbanists, who might be city planners, who might be architects, or art spaces like ourselves. And so in working with the city, we see that there's a real opportunity to engage with a very influential actor in the city who can hopefully explore these ideas with us and then transfer them into other activities or initiatives across the city, but also on the street itself. Dunga Road, I mean, our project is only going to have an intervention that changes half a kilometer. But Dunga Road itself is about 1.5 kilometers long. And we hope that this intervention will be something that inspires the development across the entire stretch of Dunga Road into the Nairobi CBD. And then, of course, we hope that this expansion will give ideas and ways in which you can be more systematic in working with tactical urbanism, not just as a temporary tool, for a day or a weekend where you're having a placemaking activity, but actually as a robust strategy that can then help you test and pilot ideas that come from technical people, ideas that come from community, and to see how once we implement, we have something that everybody says is responsive to the challenges and the needs that they feel they experience every day in the street.
Thank you very much, Joy. Stay with us for the panel a little bit later.
Yeah, thanks a lot from my side also, Joy, for the super exciting example from Nairobi. Our second winner comes from Buenos Aires in Argentina. And so we're really pleased to welcome Agustina Besada, who is representing the Asociación Sustenar, whose initiative expands the reach and impact of the Saba La Tierra food market. Hi, Agustina, nice to see you online. This project was selected by the panel for its innovative approach to addressing food insecurity, whilst also promoting healthy and sustainable diets. By bridging local producers of fresh produce with the consumers in the city, Saba La Tierra aims to ensure access for healthier diets and reduce the environmental impact of food consumption. So let's take a look at their story and their video in Vicente López.
Vicente López, Buenos Aires. I'm Tati Besada. I work at Asociación Sustentar. Our project is about expanding the impact of Saba La Tierra market so everyone can have access to healthier food and organic products. The ambition with the project is to create a new normal for eating healthier. The old normal of food culture in Argentina is very much focused on meat and also vegetables and fruits with a lot of agrochemicals.
Hola, bienvenidos a Saba La Tierra. Mi nombre es Lucy. En Saba La Tierra podés comprar, tenemos la verdulería agroecológica, productos de estación, vegetales de todo tipo y frutas, agroecológicos y orgánicos certificados también.
The three components of this project are, first, we're going to engage with the different stores to incorporate the different suppliers that offer their products at the market. Secondly, we will be partnering with other organizations, EAT and Huertas Animadas, to run workshops on composting, community gardening, and cooking. And lastly, we will organize different events to invite everyone, our partners and the community, to be part of different activities to spread the word about this new initiative. Then we're also working with the municipality of Vicente López, who is very excited about this project and promoting these healthier habits in their community.
En la municipalidad, Vicente López, estamos contentos de apoyar a Saba La Tierra. La comida saludable ayuda a nuestra comunidad a no solo alimentarse mejor, sino a tener una mejor relación con el cuidado ambiental.
The idea is that this project unifies, in a sense, the different parts of the neighborhood into this initiative of eating and accessing healthier foods. So hopefully if that works, we can expand it to other markets. The one change I hope the project can make is to make healthy products and organic food available to everyone in the community of Vicente López.
Nice video encapsulating the passion behind the project and also some of the organizations and stakeholders that are involved in hopefully making this project a success. So thanks so much for Agustina for, first of all, participating in the competition and congratulations for winning. But also, now is an opportunity for us to have a little bit of a conversation about the Saba La Tierra market and some of the problems that you're hoping that the project will address. So, I mean, we understood from your sort of application and the project description mentioned that the market has been operating for some time, and in principle, healthy food is available, but many community members are not really able to access that or are not able to take advantage of the market. So how is the project really trying to bridge to those community members and really take advantage of the great healthy produce that is available at the market?
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, we believe that although healthy food is technically available at the market, and it has been for many, many years, not everyone in the neighborhood has access to it. It means that they're not close by or they're not used to accessing it. So we believe that if local stores and restaurants start using and selling healthy products, it will become more common and accessible to everyone, like literally 1-2 blocks from their homes, they will be able to access these products. So we plan on creating a network of businesses that will get recognized with a seal and could be found online to bring these products closer to the people. So it's not only at the market during the weekends, but it's throughout the week and spread out in the neighborhood. So everyone has, it's closer to these alternative, healthier products.
Yeah, if I could just ask a quick follow-up question on that. So you mentioned the connections that you're hoping to make between the fresh produce in the market and some of the local businesses. So what is the type of products that are currently more available in the local businesses around the market?
Well, there's everything, like from a little supermarket to a big supermarket. There are also many restaurants, and a lot of people from other neighborhoods go to those restaurants because they're really nice. So we are really planning to partner and engage with these businesses, not only stores and grocery stores that can sell organic cheese and fruits and vegetables and bread and different bakery goods, but also trying to incorporate these local suppliers to the restaurants. So they can also grow as entrepreneurs of healthy alternatives. So this is what we are envisioning for this project, to really try to connect the dots with these different types of businesses to really make it common to consume this type of products in the neighborhood.
Yeah. I think that was one of the elements of the project that we were really impressed by, was this connection between where food comes from, how people are able to access it, and where are the different settings in which people could access this fresh produce. So we really commend you for that element of the project. From the video, what we also saw in a very nice way was how the community are using the market and can be able to take advantage of it, including families and children. So could you speak a little bit to how you intend this project or initiative to influence children's food literacy, their food skills, their awareness of what a healthy diet is, and how do you envisage that this could help shift eating habits in Vicente López?
Yeah, sure. So we believe that educating children and youth, it's not only an investment in the future, but it's also the best way of getting into the homes and families with new habits. So this is why this education component is so important. We will promote these healthy eating tools and ideas, as well as the business network. We will promote this business network because everyone needs to know about it through different events and courses on gardening and healthy cooking and composting. And we will partner with schools and local community centers, as well as the location of the Sabe la Tierra market. But we really want to decentralize the activities and really work with the cafeterias of the different schools, so they learn how to incorporate these healthier products. Moms and grandmas that work, nearby the schools and the community centers. So really trying to engage the different populations that we have in the neighborhood, so everyone can
can have access to this. So events are great for people that attend, but also they're a great opportunity to create noise and communicate what is happening and really trying to disseminate this initiative throughout the neighborhood and make everyone aware that the Sabe la Tierra market is expanding.
Great. I mean, thanks so much. And I think it was very clear to us that, we take both our organizations consider neighborhood approach as being really important. And of course, marketplaces, fresh produce markets can often be a heart of a healthy and thriving neighborhood. So it was really nice to see this project. So do stay with us. We will be having a panel conversation once we've presented the last winner. So over to you, Hélène.
Yes, and I think the third winner of the Healthy City Challenge is also a very concrete example of how we can improve health and well-being and sustainability at the neighborhood level with a bottom-up approach of design. So we have with us Adriana Sansao, who represents the Osvaldo Cruz Urban Lab from Rio de Janeiro. Hello, Adriana. Thank you very much for joining from the other part of the planet. So this project that is led by the Faculty of Architecture, Urbanism of the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro was selected because it was a very fantastic project who turned the concept of the 15-minute city in a reality, in a real-life implementation, and really demonstrate how tactical urbanism can transform a neighborhood and improve health and well-being of local communities. So let's have a quick look to the project before discussing with Adriana.
Hello, welcome to Osvaldo Cruz, Rio de Janeiro. My name is Adriana Sansão. I'm architect and urbanist. Osvaldo Cruz is a residential neighborhood at the north part of the city of Rio de Janeiro. Osvaldo Cruz is identified by the municipality as an area prone to heat waves due to the sparse vegetation. Also, the river that crosses the neighborhood is highly contaminated. There's a big problem about the sidewalks. They are not safe. They are narrow sometimes. There are lack of pedestrian crossings, so we had to do something about that.
I'm João Pedro Pina, local team for this project. So our project is Osvaldo Cruz Urban Lab. The first project we did consisted in temporary interventions that aim to facilitate crosswalks and extensions of sidewalks for the pedestrians to be safer during their walks in the neighborhood.
This project has three main objectives. The first one is to foster the activity mobility in the neighborhood. The second is to create new green spaces. The third one is to improve the surroundings of the train station and to improve also the accessibility. Our philosophy is doing small interventions with great impact. And we are hoping to do this for pedestrians, cyclists, for the elderly, for the children, and all the vulnerable groups of the society.
And of course, this wouldn't be possible without the help of the community and the municipality.
Hello, I'm Hélène Chartier. I am an architect and urbanist, and I work for City Hall. We wanted to develop some pilot solutions to implement in this neighborhood, but we wanted to implement this with the participation of the local population.
The design itself for our project demands the participation process. We have some ideas, but the final design, only the community will tell. If I can describe our ambition in one word, it would be participation. The city is not only made by the community, but by everybody, and the participation of all may transform it.
What, again, a fantastic and inspiring project that really show how bottom-up approach, urban design with the local community can really improve community health, safety, and climate resilience. Adriana, I have a first question for you. We saw in the video that actually you already implemented the first phase of this project through a tactical urbanism approach. What were the key lessons of this first phase, and how will you bring these lessons in the second phase of the project?
Good afternoon, Hélène. Very happy to be here. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Novo Nordisk C40, for the opportunity and say that along with my team, I'm very honored to be part of this project.
Thank you.
And congratulations to Joy and Agustina. Answering your question, during the tactical urbanism pilot in Oswaldo Cruz, we learned many lessons that will help us to shape the new phase of the project. One of the biggest takeaways was how crucial community participation is. We saw great success by involving residents, both in the analysis and in the co-creation phase, but we also realized we can do even better. So in the next stage, we want to put more effort into reaching different groups in the community, using new tools and strategies to make sure we are engaging as many voices as possible. We also found out that teaming up with other local initiatives and government programs can really amplify the impact of the project. For example, during the pilot, we worked with the traffic company to integrate the A Caminho da Escola project in the area, which was a great success. Going forward, we'd love to expand this approach by connecting with citizen-led initiatives that already exist, such as the Quilombo, for example. Supporting these grassroots projects can create even stronger community ties and bring even more energy to the work we are doing. We also learned the importance of leveraging local services and businesses to align with the 15-minute city concept that we are working with. Supporting neighborhood commerce not only strengthens local economies, but also fosters deeper community engagement. However, bureaucratic challenge sometimes hinders sourcing from informal or semi-informal businesses. Addressing this in the next phase, we will seek innovative ways to face these challenges and demonstrate how utilizing local resources can be practical and also impactful. And finally, the pilot reinforced that tactical urbanism is not only about achieving tangible results, but also about the process itself. How the project unfolds, how people participate, and how collaboration is fostered are just as important as the outcomes. In the next stage, we will continue to prioritize transparency, inclusivity, and engagement throughout the process, ensuring that the process of implementation is as transformative as the results. And last thing, other aspect we learned has to do with the temporary interventions themselves. The activation of the space must come together with the physical transformation so that the community can engage during the transformation process and see its immediate results in real time.
Thank you, Adriana. It's very inspiring to see how you move from a first stage to a second one, and then you are working with a ripple effect with the city to also bring this process to maybe a future citywide project. So very inspiring. My second question is coming back to the local community. How your project, do you think, will influence their behavior? How it will change their daily life in practice?
Thank you for the question, very important. The intervention in Oswaldo Cruz are all about empowering people to take ownership of their public spaces. When residents feel connected to and responsible for their neighborhoods, it creates more vibrant communities and better public space. We believe that. This in itself has an impact on daily life, fostering a sense of belonging and pride, while encouraging behaviors that contribute to a stronger community fabric. To achieve this, we aim to bring the conversation about improving the area down to the local context and a human scale. People need to have the opportunity and the conditions to identify their challenges and work with us to co-create solutions. By supporting these ideas and helping them come to life, we are not just improving the space, but also encouraging new ways of thinking and problem solving that come from the community itself. These lessons are designed to be a two-way, a horizontal dialogue with the locals. We want to create an open and approachable environment where ideas can flow freely. At the same time, we bring in concepts like climate adaptation, the sponge city, and the compact city, but in simple terms, and with real-world examples, with good practice, we call. This helps connect the bigger picture to small actions on a local level, enabling the community to integrate these ideas into tactical solutions we develop together. Ultimately, we hope to inspire new behaviors, like residents participating in shaping their surroundings, understanding the importance of sustainability, collaborating with each other to make their neighborhood more livable. These changes can start small, but their effects can transform how people see and use their public spaces every day. The last aspect is the direct impact the intervention have in their daily lives regarding safer and slow traffic, a healthier surrounding where they have opportunities to walk and cycle, enjoy green spaces, and produce and consume healthier and cheap food in the new community gardens we aim to create. That's it.
Thank you, Adriana. We know that public space is a living room of a neighborhood. It's really a place where people should connect, socialize, and feel safe to walk. And we saw in the video this little girl falling. So there is a lot of improvement. And thank you so much for your hard work. And we will hear in a bit from the city perspective how they learn from your project and pilot and work with you. So thank you very much, Adriana. Jo.
Yes, so now we have an opportunity to actually have a deeper and more of an exchange with the panelists in our Q&A session. I would like to remind everybody in the audience that you have the opportunity to submit questions, so please do that, because now is your chance to submit your ideas, reflections, questions that you would like to ask the panelists. Because really, I mean, we've just had a tour around the world. We've seen very different contexts, but actually some quite similar challenges that all of the winners are trying to address with their project. And I mean, I guess the first question, you've heard us here in Copenhagen, but also I think here and there in your interventions, we've also been discussing this concept of healthy, green and thriving neighborhoods, which, really combines, the livability, it combines the health dimension, but it also combines the sort of climate resilience and sustainability perspective. But I also am very keen to hear from your own contexts and your own situation, what that term, healthy, thriving neighborhoods, healthy, green, thriving neighborhoods means to you. So if I might start with Joy, I'm very keen to hear your perspective, and then we'll go to each of the panelists for their perspectives on this first question. Over to you, Joy.
Well, thank you, and thank you so much. And I very much enjoyed hearing from Adriana and Agustina, wonderful, wonderful projects, and a lot of resonance with what we're doing in Nairobi as well. So I think what this means for us is, particularly in relation to our neighborhood, is that Dunga Road is a major spine that takes us into two different kinds of residential neighborhoods. One is a middle-class neighborhood that is pretty much gated. And then another is informal settlements that are built along the river that is at the bottom of the road, the project that we are working on. What we see is that the informal settlements have no public space. They have no open areas where children can play, where community can interact. So one of the things that this project means for us is that we are actually opening up a public space for the informal settlements. We think this is really important, that the road is not just a road. It's not just about moving me from work to home or home to school, but the road is my socializing space. And so this idea of creating a space that where we thrive, whether we thrive as businesses, whether we thrive as individuals who are encountering and interacting and meeting and socializing, whether we thrive as a space that is around culture and art because it's next to an art center, and whether it is a space that is also helping us to bring down the temperature of the urban environment through trees, through shade, through plants, through green, blue features and green features. I think this for us is the transformation that we see will be brought into the that little neighborhood. But on a larger scale, I think it's also important because it helps us to begin to think about the ways that we make city. A lot of African cities really have been a colonial proposition. And the independent city is now trying to figure out, how do we own and live in this city, inhabit these cities as contemporary African residents? And so this idea of beginning to think about thriving neighborhoods, about community, about engaging people, about building identity and ownership through this process is also very important to us.
Thanks so much, Joy. And I could see Adriana nodding her head along as Joy was speaking. So maybe if I come to you next, Adriana, to see, is there similarities in how you understand the term and the ambition, but also, what does it mean to you in the context of Oswaldo Cruz?
We can highlight 4 aspects we understand about healthy, green, and thriving neighborhoods. First, the idea of making the neighborhood more cohesive and lively. We believe that by activating locals to think about and improve their neighborhoods, they will develop a stronger connection with public space. This engagement fosters a sense of belonging, making the neighborhood healthier and more vibrant. Second is the idea of building green initiatives at a human scale, introducing the benefits of green infrastructure and urban furniture in ways that residents can relate to and implement. Supporting initiatives like community gardens, vegetable gardens, and tree planting helps create a greener neighborhood. Third, the idea of introducing green and healthy through active mobility, enabling residents to safely walk, cycle, and use public transport while promoting local commerce and service is the idea of the 15-minute city I told before. Public spaces, and public spaces should encourage activities like running, sports, play, and socialize, and making them integral to daily life. And last, they aim to build inclusive and accessible for all, ensuring streets are safe and friendly for children, like we saw in the video, with urban furniture and access features that support people with limited mobility. A truly healthy neighborhood should serve everyone, not just a select group of young citizens.
Thank you. And, the point that is also being made here, I think, about some of the populations that we need to focus on, in particular, including health inequities, we'll come back to later in a further question. But thanks so much for those reflections. And finally, Agustina, could you share your perspective from Buenos Aires?
Yeah, sure. When we saw this concept of healthy, green, and thriving neighborhoods, what we thought was about the need of systemic improvements, systemic that may take longer to implement. But there are a lot of initiatives that are, like pop-ups. So what we thought is like, how can we leverage an existing solution? So it's not something that we are bringing from outside, like the other 2 projects that are working from within. Well, so something that has been there, okay, how can we leverage that existing solution, engaging with local businesses and collaborating with different actors. So we are bringing the municipality of the government from the municipality, the businesses, the Sabe la Tierra, the local producers, and other local organizations, the schools, community centers. So really trying to bring the different actors together and being the articulators, because these components we believe are necessary to create this systemic change. So once this project is finished, this continues. So this is what means thriving for us. It's something that lasts and gets installed, and it continues beyond us. So in order to do that, you need to do it with the local people. So they own the project, and they are the ones that, safeguard the continuation of this project. So that's for us, the thriving communities.
Thanks very much for those nice reflections. And I can see some of the questions coming through now onto our list, but do continue to add those questions. But I'll hand over to Hélène for the next question.
Yes, the three of you mentioned the importance of engaging the community, but also not always the usual suspect of community engagement, but the different groups, the formal, the informal, women, children, older people. I would like to go a little bit more in the granularity of it. If you could tell us how you did it for this the design phase of the project and how you will, in the implementation phase, continue to bring their perspective to inform your project as it's going. Maybe I will start with Adriana.
Well, we deal with four main ideas, methods, we could say. First, the idea of selection of participatory tools to engage the society, right, the community. We use many international recognized participatory tools for community engagement that cover analysis, co-creation, implementation, and also the feedback. And these tools were adapted to the local context, allowing us to test what works best for the community and also what doesn't work, right? And the second idea is the iterative approach. Our goal is to continue refining and testing these engagement methods, focusing on tools that proved successful during the pilot, ensuring they remain effective and relevant for the next points of intervention. Third, the enhanced outreach. We plan to improve the visibility of activities through pop-ups, flyers, banners, and a stronger presence on social media, reaching more people and encouraging broader participation. Consider we will have much more time in this phase that we had in the pilot. This is important to say. And finally, the community-led implementation. Participation doesn't stop at planning. We are committed to involving the community in the active implementation phase, empowering residents to take part in shaping their neighborhood and fostering a sense of ownership.
Thank you very much. Same question for you, Agustine. As you are progressing in the project, how do you involve different groups of the community?
Yeah, so initially we had an idea and we reached out to Sabe la Tierra co-founder, Angie. So I pitched her. I was like, hey, Angie, I know you, I have this idea. What do you think? So it was really like designing the project with them. It was not like, oh, I want these to be implemented. You need to do this part. No. It was really learning from their experience because they have been there the longest and they have been working with the local producers for a long time. So they know their needs, they know their capacities, they know how they can grow, how they can expand. So it was really taking that as a starting point. Then we have developed a methodology to map, to develop one-on-one relationships with the businesses, but also bringing together the municipality, because we believe that creating those relationships without an endorsement from the officials, it would be difficult. So that's kind of like the plan. And the third part is we are open and flexible because we are doing something that we really try to find references of this type of engagement with local businesses. We couldn't. So we are really trying to be open to learn in the process and adjust our methodology as needed in order to reach our goals. So that stakeholder engagement always has that component, right? It's like, well, you don't know. One of the project was talking about that. Like we don't really know what it's gonna look like because it will depend on the people. Well, this is more or less the same. So we are staying open and flexible.
Joy, does that resonate to your experience as well?
Absolutely. So many similarities. I think for us, for the next stage, one thing, of course, is to keep this women's group close to us. In fact, we already introduced them to the idea of tactical urbanism when we were announced a finalist, and we shared with them the exciting possibility that we could be a winner. And we actually rewalked those streets again with them for them to appreciate and understand what that next step might be, where we are actually piloting through these temporary interventions some of these wonderful ideas that they had. So the next stage will keep them very much involved. But because we're an art space, we will now bring in the creative actors, the artists, a lot more, because we are also hoping that in this phase of tactical urbanism, we'll be able to show how the street can be a multi-use space. So how can we have concerts and art activities in the streets? But then, of course, how can we expand the idea of markets and street fairs in a bigger way? And so all of these are ideas that, that will engage both the street vendors and the premised buildings that are next to us. One of the other people that, of course, will be central to this engagement is the city itself. And we had a first convening where we were meeting with the department that's involved with culture, but also the department that's involved with environment and with planning, because all of these three actors will need to collaborate closely in the next phase. And so we are looking forward to try and see how that will work well, and how all of us will learn together and see how to collaborate. And then I think that a final aspect is that collaboration is key. Expanding your partnerships, extending opportunities or possibilities of learning and sharing with others will continue to be a part of this project. This intervention actually touches a river. And over the last year, we have forged wonderful partnerships with other non-state.
Oh, Joy, I think we lost you. We cannot hear you anymore. Can you hear us?
No. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, you are back.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you are back, Joy. Go ahead.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
so the final point is that we have collaborators who are working with the river communities. And so with them, we've also been thinking about how this becomes part of the next phase, particularly trying to create a bridge over this river in order to, again, make safe the crossing of people who come from the informal settlements into this main public space that is Dunga Road.
Super. Well, thanks very much for the nice answer to those questions. And actually, some of the questions that are coming in from the audience now are getting into the nitty-gritty of the project. So we've got some very keen and interested participants on the webinar. And actually, Joy, in your answer, you already started to talk about your interactions with the different sectors within the city government. So maybe I'll ask this to Agustina and Adriana, which is, how are you engaging with the city authorities in your project, and how do you work across sectors simultaneously? I'll start with you, Agustina, this time.
Yeah. So, well, through Sabe la Tierra, because they've been operating there for a long time, we got to engage with the representatives of the city, of the municipality, and we met with them. We presented the project. They were really, really excited. It was not approved by then, so it was just the concept, the idea, and they are super aligned with our goals and objectives. So they were like, count on us. We can, support in any way needed. And now moving forward, we need. We know that we need to get kind of like the top-down approval of like, this is aligned with our intentions, but also these are the people you need to connect to really going into the step-on-step, the day-to-day activities that we need to engage through, communications in social media or partnerships or the commercial aspect. So the different point persons for the different aspects of the project. So really, we are getting into that phase now.
Super. And Adriana, this is the same situation in Rio. Could you put some words to it?
Yes, this connection with the city government is central for us. This is our project, right? This initiative, our initiative, is rooted in the framework of the Sustainability Development and Climate Action Plan of Rio de Janeiro. Is a plan they have there, which provides a comprehensive roadmap for the city's long-term sustainability goals. The pilot project was developed with the city government, and the city is also our partner in this next phase of the project. Actually, they have what they call a planning committee that is a figure that a group of technicians that are together from many sectors that work together to make the intervention real, to work together to put on the ground. So we work together to ensure that this initiative remains aligned with the framework of their broader plan. But while the plan itself is extensive, this project, like the pilot, focused on initiating implementation on a neighborhood scale, using tactical urbanism as a tool to create immediate but impactful changes. At the same time, the city and the other institutions can continue to develop the broader aspect of the plan at larger scales. So one of the key outcomes of the pilot was the creation of a methodological guide, which outlines a step-by-step approach to planning and implementing similar actions. This guide is central to our current efforts as we apply its principles to this new project. Additionally, we plan to incorporate the lessons learned from this phase now, that it starts now, into this guide, ensuring it remains a living document that grows in each application. By strengthening and refining this method, we aim to make it even more replicable and scalable, enabling the city to implement similar projects in other neighborhoods and contexts, further advancing its sustainability goals.
Thank you so much. And very clear examples from everybody about how this is anchored in the sort of local administration, the local municipalities and the different sectors to ensure that everybody is consulted and involved, but also to put it in a good position for sustainability and replication and potentially scaling. So thanks so much. Over to you, Hélène, for the next question.
Yes, and I want to mention before asking the next question that we receive also a lot of messages saying congratulations, great project. Especially we had a message from Jill Penalosa from Colombia, who is leading the Cities for Everyone initiative. That is also a very important initiative. So we see a lot of leading actors who are, congratulating you. But a very concrete and important question. What potential barrier you might face during the implementation of your project, and how do you think you can overcome them? Maybe I will start with you, Joy, now.
Yes, and I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, no, I think one of the communities, or one of the parts of the community that has been a little bit more difficult to deal with has been the premise businesses on our street. So these are the property owners. And they, of course, feel that they have invested and that the ideas that come from the women are ideas that should not change or challenge some of the investment that they've made on the street. So, for example, recently when we were back on the street, we saw that one of the property owners had opened a new doorway onto the street, and as a result, some of the street vendors were forced to move out from in front of his property and to try and locate themselves somewhere else. So we see that at the onset, we'll need to have some very robust re-engagements with this particular segment of our community. So those owners who are doing business there within buildings, they're sort of what do you call them, light industry businesses, to try and see how we can bring them on board and win them over, so that we work together and that they appreciate what it is that we're trying to develop together. I think the other thing that will be new for the city is an extended tactical urbanism intervention. As I mentioned earlier, these tend to be fairly short. We tend to do them during Urban October, when we're all remembering how important it is to think about sustainable cities and so on and so forth. But to try and see whether you can have an intervention that can sit on the street for 3 months, 6 months, maybe even 9 months, I think will be something new and different. But we believe that if this is allowed to be in place for a good amount of time, we can all learn well from it. So these are some of the ones that we see as some immediate questions looming ahead, but we're confident that with the relationships that we built, with the city on our side, with our good experience in convening people and in guiding consultations, that we'll be able to get to a happy place for everyone.
Thank you very much, Joy. I would love to ask a question to Agustina, because I think your project is very new, very innovative. So when you are an innovator, you are also anticipating some barriers. So did you already think about some barrier who could come in the implementation phase?
Yeah, definitely. So our biggest challenge is that the businesses don't show any interest. So not only that, but also we have a very unstable economy. So if that may affect their interest as well, because if things are complicated with the economy, if people are not going out for eating at restaurants, they're not buying as much, they are really trying to minimize their expenses, and local stores are affected, they probably won't be open to incorporating new lines of products, a new proposal, a new concept. So they will be more worried about their business itself. So hopefully we can have we have in next year a stable economy, whatever that means in Argentina. So that's not a problem. So we can only work on the challenge of not gaining their interest, because we have a lot of ideas for that, a lot of strategies to try and test. So that's what we what we know it's there, but we'll find a way around.
Thank you, and you have also so much energy, so I'm sure it will work. Jo?
So, yeah, the final question, because we're sort of gradually coming to the end of this panel discussion segment, is, reflects the excitement from the audience and the questions that are coming through. People are saying, well, what's next? When does implementation start? And what's the first step you will take in January 2025 to work on this? So perhaps I could start with Adriana first, and then I'll come to each of you with your sort of next big step on this project. Adriana.
Next step. I think we have a plan to multiply these interventions. The project we propose here, and to try to start a process of reducing inequalities. Right. Of course, we have small interventions, but they have a great potential. We cannot ensure that we will reduce inequalities or health inequalities. We can ensure something like that, but when we are talking about a developing country, right? But what we can do is work responsibly, utilizing the resources available to us as architects and urbanists, together with municipal partners, to provide a healthier and more sustainable environment. One crucial aspect we already have, we have chosen a neighborhood lacking healthy spaces to begin this process, which shows that the planning is focused then on areas that require greater investment in urban improvements. So we believe that addressing the problem in vulnerable environments is an important way to start the process of reducing health inequalities and reducing inequalities in general.
Thank you so much. And I will come to the last two, and if you could do it in 30 seconds, that would be great. So Agustina, I will come to you, and then Joy will come to you last.
Sure. So our next steps are putting together a team, and also working with our partners, setting up clear roles, objectives, and a timeline for the year. I mean, that's January for us.
Very, very clear and very brief. Thanks so much. And Joy, the last word is yours on the panel.
Yes, no, absolutely. Convene. So our next step will to bring together everybody. So the city, the street, the women, the consultant team that works with us, the urbanists who love this project, and to remind ourselves of the vision, and then to think together how to actually roll it out over the following months.
Thank you very much. You are such an inspiration for us, and good luck with your project and the very first step. Now, we would like to change scene a little bit more to hear from the city. The three panelists, the three projects were explaining how it was important to connect also with the cities. And we would like to invite Daniel Mancebo, who is the head of the city planning department from Rio de Janeiro. And Daniel, hi, nice to see you. Thank you for joining. And you have been involved in the Oswaldo Cruz project already. Hi, Daniel. And we would like to hear from you and maybe give some advice to other cities. First, to hear how do you think a city can partner with this type of community organization to implement this type of project? And also hear from you how a city can scale this type of project through policy, through citywide program.
Okay, hi Hélène, hi all. Firstly, congratulations all and thanks for this opportunity. I think this kind of support for the cities it's so important, and it's a great honor to be here representing the city of Rio in this part, because cities have the big problem, the most important problem when we are talking about climate change, for example, and we need to implement different kinds of solutions. And this kind of support, it's so relevant for us, especially because we can test solutions, we can implement different kinds of solutions. So it's not so common in some application process and challenges. So this kind of support is so relevant and so important for the cities. So when we are talking about the process of sustainability agenda, I think we need to consider three pillars especially, and social participation is the first one. So people need to be engaged in new projects. I think it's an important consideration, especially because it's crucial for the success of the project. When people cannot involve or is not involved, is not engaged in the implementation process or in the project, they are in some cases a little bit angry or a little bit not interesting in this project. And so I think people need to build on their own solutions, because people know the territory, people know the regions and the most important problems that we have, that they have. So I think this is the first pillar that we need to consider in a planning process and new project and sustainability agenda, of course. And we need to remember the SDG, 17 SDG, because it's a partnership, but between civil society, between universities, between all of the people and the institutions. And the second point, I think it's interesting to put here, is the innovative solutions. Especially because, for example, when we consider Oswaldo Cruz project, we have a lot of challenges there, and we have a lot of necessities or new solutions that we need to implement to solve this kind of challenges. And for example, this neighborhood is so vulnerable, and we need to consider that in our new projects. So this second point is so interesting. Understand how can we work together between, of course, academic universities and social society, but City Hall as well. So all of them have their perspectives, and we need to combine these perspectives to implement innovative solutions to the citizens. And the third point, I think, we need to have a strong planning process, especially because we need to we need to have the goals, we need to have the vision, we need to have the understanding of where and how can we reach them. And it's so interesting. And in case of Oswaldo Cruz and this Oswaldo Cruz project, we have 3 of them, and of course, I think it's so interesting solutions because they can combine these 3 aspects to achieve the success of the sustainability projects. So especially in our vulnerable area in Rio, we have some sustainable corridors that they are responsible for the implementation, the implementation of the planning agenda and the sustainability agenda. And when we define it, then we would like to put on the territory the challenges, because when we are talking about goals and we are talking about vision, they are so important, but we need to put in the territory with interesting projects and interesting areas. We need to put these goals and these visions in the territory for understand what the people would like to implement, but to understand what's the best challenges for their areas and the neighborhoods.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Just because we run a bit of overtime, but thank you very much. It's very inspiring to see how you are basically partnering, collaborating with this community organization to implement the the Sustainable Corridor project and boost active mobility and greening and health. Thank you very much, Daniel. Jo, over to you.
Yeah, great to have the perspective from Rio City Government. And so thanks to also all of the guests and all the winners for joining us today. I think what we've heard from the presentations, the video, the panel discussion, the contributions is that change in the urban environment for healthier, green and thriving neighbourhoods is possible, especially when innovative thinking meets personal and professional commitment. These projects exemplify what is potential and the power of urban design and community partnerships to shape healthier, more equitable cities. So I know there was great interest from all the participants in what comes next, and we can be sure that we will follow the winners and their journey over the coming months and years, and we'll be providing updates on their progress. So for more information, please sign up to the Cities for Better Health newsletter, but also come visit our website, citiesforbetterhealth.com. And yeah, once again, congratulations to all the winners and participants of the Healthy Cities Challenge. We really recognize all the work that went into the ideas and the project development. And thank you to everyone who's joined us today. Thanks to my team who've contributed to this, but of course, thanks to C40 and Hélène for joining us in this Healthy City Challenge. Really, we believe together through partnership, we are able to drive change for healthier cities across generations. So thanks a lot for today's webinar and to all the winners, and have a great rest of the day wherever you are. Thank you.
Thank you.